elite school and public school, a portrait of social differences. Last year, average PSU scores by district had in between them an abrupt difference. The lowest one of them was 401 points average in Tiltil, and the highest one was Vitacura with an average of 623 points. That means over 200 points of difference. But the main question is, why? Why more than 3,000 students got such low scores, and why another 3,000 got an average of over 600 points? Where do we find the responsible for this problem? Well, all the blame goes to our educational system, and how bad design it was, and its capability to increase the inequality in Chile. This problem actually started with the creation of private centers of education, but the effects of this did not appear until in the 1980 Constitution, where thanks to a neoliberalism system that was established in Chile, education was no longer a main responsibility of the state. Only if the privates could not take responsibility, the state would step up. This part of the Constitution created a fissure in education that in modern days has evolved into an almost unfixable issue in society. This issue goes from the access of PSU preparation to technology access and the main quality of education that people receive. However, the private-public system kind of relationship has created something bigger than just a PSU score problem. It has also caused an unstoppable cycle where the lack of educational opportunities in the more vulnerable students has developed in the posterior lack of professionals that a country creates, creating a pounding issue in the social mobility. If you're not familiar with this topic, you may ask, how big this difference can be, and why private education does better? The answer to this question is gigantic. It has so many things to explain that it's almost unfinnable. If we focus on the main question, it can actually be answered by looking into the fees of this school. Let's get to the case of international school Nido de Águilas. Have you ever tried to guess the price for the yearly fee of Nido de Águilas? It's probably more than you're thinking right now. It's actually around 14 million pesos Chilenas. To put it in a scale, it's 40 times the minimum salary, and they have scholarships that are around 20 times the minimum salary. Also, if we focus on academics, Nido de Águilas has worldwide professionals and an awarded building, while public schools have bad paid teachers and poor buildings. Is it only academical, or it has more than one dimension? Yes, it has many faces. Beyond only the academical issues, the inequality of education allows for the creation of social differences and the creation of stereotypes inside social classes, like the mentality that you have being a public school is much different than in a private school. For example, in private school, you will find teenagers who aim for Universidad Católica or Universidad de los Andes, while in public schools, most of the students aim for Duoc or a more inexpensive center of higher education. Even further, that only their academical goals is their main lifestyle and traditions. People who go to public school have a tendency to have a special kind of dialect, which is very common in Paris areas. Meanwhile, a student who goes to elite school use another type of dialect with more English slang. The differences are actually infinite, from the way they see the world to even the way they dress, and it's there where we see there is a problem that is breaking our society into two. Furthermore, this is now an everyone problem, not only the two parties involved. Now, the only thing left is to fight against this system, no matter how difficult it can be, and it will be. We need the change, because this system takes away our opportunities, our hard work as students, and the most important, it takes away our dignity. A good education is not an option, because education is a human right. And our money will never determine if we have them or not, no matter where you are, when you are, or who you are. Thank you very much. This is the end of my speech. Thank you very much for listening.